With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office has won the state's first civil hate crime lawsuit under a 2018 law. A Carroll County judge ordered two residents to pay more than $90,000 in penalties and damages for racially motivated intimidation of a black neighbor. Illinois Senate Democrats are pushing new taxes on digital advertising, billionaires, and corporations, arguing large companies aren't paying their fair share. Republicans counter that state spending has surged in recent years and warn higher taxes could drive businesses out of Illinois. Illinois drivers are paying less for car insurance. Insurify says average full coverage rates fell 7.2% in 2025, saving drivers about $138 a year. The average annual cost is around $1,800. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois Senate Democrats are pushing new taxes on digital advertising, billionaires, and corporations, arguing large companies aren't paying their fair share. Republicans counter that state spending has surged in recent years and warn higher taxes could drive businesses out of Illinois. Illinois drivers are paying less for car insurance. Insurify says average full coverage rates fell 7.2% in 2025, saving drivers about $138 a year. The average annual cost is around $1,800. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office has won the state's first civil hate crime lawsuit under a 2018 law. A Carroll County judge ordered two residents to pay more than $90,000 in penalties and damages for racially motivated intimidation of a black neighbor. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Progressive. Today, a chance of snow showers this afternoon. Cloudy with a high near 36, falling to around 29. Expect some light accumulation. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 8. Looking ahead to Saturday, sunny with a high near 23 and temperatures dropping in the evening. Currently, it's 35 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Everybody, welcome to Out to Lunch here on WRMN. It is a fantastic Friday. It's a foodie Friday. Yes, if you've been listening in to WRMN Out to Lunch show, I announced it yesterday too. I want to start here on Fridays doing a little foodie Friday segment. Now, it's not going to be going on throughout the whole show unless we get a good amount of submissions. I don't know. We're going to see how this plays out here, but I'm going to do it during the second half of the show. I'll go through the per-usuals here, but I want to start doing it on Fridays, having a Foodie Friday. Now, what this is, and we can even build on it too as time goes by, is you submit your recipes. Now, they don't have to be your own personal recipes, but if it's a recipe that you find online, if it's a recipe that you find in a book or a catalog, if you get those recipe books, especially for the holidays, maybe you get them delivered to your home, you are subscribed to them, right? Maybe you're a chef yourself. Submit those to me. You can email me, Matt, M-A-T-T, at WRMN1410.com. Of course, you can also text us at 505-926-1410, and I'll read through some of your favorite recipes. One that I'm going to be going through today was submitted by Greg. We went through two of his recipes yesterday, and just to give you a little bit of a taste of what to expect, and we're going to read through another one today that is an item that he likes to make, but also something to enjoy during the big game. So we'll talk about that. That'll be at the second half of the hour. We'll go through that specific article, and we're hoping to build a little bit more on this too, where, hey, if you want to send over even some samples, I can try them live on the air here too. Or if you want to come into the station, of course, on a Friday and say, hey, you know what? I love baking. I love cooking. I want to show and present to you what I've got. You can go through the recipe. You can send me pictures, information, even videos too. So if you've got anything like that, feel free to let us know. What I'm also going to try to start doing too is reaching out to folks who might have food blogs. Now, ideally in the Fox River Valley area, but maybe even just people who are from, Chicagoland area too, who have food blogs, who maybe have specific recipes, things like that. And I'd love to get them on in the air for an interview if we don't have specific, if we don't get enough submissions or and things like that. So it's kind of in the works right now, but that's something I'm going to be doing. I'm looking forward to it. I've already gotten lots of great comments. Folks who are looking forward to that segment on Fridays, Foodie Fridays, going through some of the fantastic food options that you can try and how to make them, going through those too. So we're going to build on it. First, it's going to mainly just be a little bit of a reading segment, and I'll show you some pictures too. But then we hope to build onto it a little bit more and maybe get some folks in here, maybe even doing some demonstrations, almost kind of like a cooking show. I think that that would be a lot of fun to build onto that too. So if you have any suggestions for me on people to reach out to, or maybe any recipes, submit them, as many as you would like to. Even if you just want to grab a random one from the internet that caught your eye, we would love to do that. I'll also make sure to talk to Tammy as well, because sometimes she'll bring up some stuff like that too. So might even work together with that. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. As it is out to lunch, we want to talk about food, right? You know, we do want to, of course, discuss what's happening locally in the Fox River Valley area, but we also want those segments that do hone in on the food, the baking, the cooking, right? And then it does kind of leeway into what's cooking today with Michael Horn, which will be coming up today. That will be at the 1 o'clock segment. That's what's cooking today. So I'm not quite sure what he's going to be talking about specifically, but if you do want to listen to that, that'll be coming up at the 1 o'clock segment. You are listening to Out to Lunch, which is sponsored by St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin. You can get back to doing what you love with expert orthopedic and spine care at St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin. From advanced surgery to personalized rehab, their specialists are with you throughout your care journey. St. Joseph Hospital is a proud member of Prime Healthcare, and we're here to keep you moving. Schedule your appointment today by calling 847-931-5525 or visit stjosephelgin.com to learn more. So thank you to St. Joseph Hospital for sponsoring today's show, Out to Lunch. Let's start off by going through our weather and temperatures. What are we seeing for the day today? Well, it does look like we are going to be getting up to a high of 37 degrees. Currently feeling like 20 right now, up to 37, pretty much overcast throughout the whole day. Now, we are going to be seeing mainly clear skies, though, actually. I backtrack a little bit here. We are going to be seeing potentially some clear skies, low of 9 degrees coming up for tonight. Tomorrow, over the weekend, sunshine and some clouds with a high of 26 and a low of 20 degrees is coming up, overcast skies. We see here for Sunday a high of 32, considerable amount of cloudiness, and a low of 22 degrees. Cloudy early with some partial clearing expected late. Then we head on into Monday, start of next week. We're going to be seeing those temperatures hopefully feeling at least like it's an early spring, like Woodstock Willie predicted. High of 41 degrees is in that forecast. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. We see it dropping down to a low of 32 degrees, partly cloudy skies. That's going to be coming up for Monday. Tuesday rolls around. We see a high of 47, intervals of clouds and sunshine in the morning with more clouds for later in the day. It drops down to 31 as our low, cloudy. That's going to be for Tuesday night. Wednesday rolls around, a high of 38 degrees is in that forecast with mainly cloudy skies. Dropping down to 26 as our low. That'll be mostly cloudy for Wednesday night. Thursday rolls around, a high of 37 is in the forecast predicted now at about 15-20% chance of some little flurries too, with a low of 26 for Thursday night. And then finally, next Friday, a week from today, it's Friday the 13th, we're going to be seeing a high of 39 degrees, partly cloudy skies in that forecast, dropping down to a low of 24 degrees with a few clouds from time to time, and that'll be for Friday night. So again, feel free to check out more information. You can find this at weather.com. Again, that's weather.com for more info to read all of your local weather reports, right? We like to tell you about those. Let's continue on your morning with an inspirational story here. Now, this one was posted by a user by the name of Fanula. This was posted today on sunnyskies.com. A letter to the woman who confronted me when I was crying on the train back in 2011. So here's the letter that this person writes. Dear stranger, I know you probably don't remember me, but in 2011, I was riding home from school during one of the worst months of my life. I want to tell you why I was crying and how a random act of kindness impacted me. I was failing junior year and all my teachers kept telling me, if you can't keep your grades up, you can't be in the play. I had been performing in plays during the other 2 years, which meant the only coping mechanism I had had for the past 3 years was off limits. My acting teacher, Mr. C, was upset. He made it known to me. One day after that meeting, I walked into his classroom after school because I had some free time before I had to travel home. I stopped in and said hello because I was feeling down, and so Mr. C was cruel to me. He told me, I went to bat for you and you messed up. If you can't do the show, then you can't be here. It was traumatizing, and I remember walking the blind student to the bathroom before going home and trying to stop myself from crying. Once I got into the subway, I began bawling. It was the first time I cried since my dad had been kicked out. This is quite a heavy story here, folks. I recently had recalled that you were sitting a few seats down from me, and you hugged me and said, I don't know what you're going through, but it'll be okay. I had felt hopeless. Nobody had been able to get through to me like that. I remember you getting off at the next stop and thanking you. Every memory from that time was so fresh. It's likely a result of traumas impacting on the body. I was forced to move upstate 4 months later to get a fresh start. Whenever I write about that time between our eviction and a clean slate in Middletown, I remember this kind woman who confronted a crying teenager. I think of your kindness. Thank you for that kindness. And it made me be such a brave person and made me realize that your statement was so true. It will get better. So sincerely, Fanula is the end of the note there. An inspirational story that someone had noticed, someone who was crying on the train and said, you know what? I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm not going to try to get you to budge. But I know that it'll be okay. And we hope that you're doing okay too. So a nice little story there to continue on your morning on this lovely day here. Happy Friday, everybody here on WRMN. We'll take a quick time out. We'll be back with more here on Out to Lunch, which includes a little sneak peek on what we're going to be expecting for the 12 o'clock hour with Life Experiences with William Pellerino. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more here on WRMN.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. That's 800-433-3082.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM. 866-509-TERM.
America's First Responders Fest began as a simple idea to honor the heroes who serve our community every day. Thanks to the incredible support of the Village of Hampshire, especially Village President Mike Reed, Village Manager Jay Hedges, and Karen Stuhler. This year, that idea came to life. From local residents to small businesses, Hampshire opened its heart to America's First Responders Fest. The support was overwhelming. A true celebration of unity, gratitude, and community pride.
Firearms are the #1 cause of death among kids, but we know that healthcare workers can make a huge difference. This is why prevention is absolutely critical. It starts with listening to the community, leaning in on those conversations to better inform what is the approach that you want to take. You are the champions for change. You can be the catalyst for integrating firearm injury prevention strategies into your practice and really benefiting your community. Let's agree to agree that we all have a role to play in ending this crisis.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch here on WRMN, the Voice of the Valley and the Talk of the Town. Now, we've got our segment here that's coming up in the second half of the hour. That is for Fruity Fridays, so stay tuned for that. But we also want to get you a little inside scoop on what's going to be coming up for the next show. That is Life Experiences with our very own William Pellerinos, who I have here in the studio with me. Hello, hello.
Hello, Matthew. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm usually not awake this early.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you came in early. It's always good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I just want to let people know a couple of things real quickly before I start my show at 12:05 today. I've been getting a lot of questions about this kidnap in Arizona, the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. She's the mother of the NBC
Savannah
Today broadcaster.
Yep.
So I handled a couple kidnappings when I was a policeman, and we're going to talk about that between the difference between abductions, kidnappings, and other forms. And the other thing we're going to talk about, I want to let everybody know that next Friday, Friday the 13th, the day before St. Valentine's Day, I have Debbie Cohen, an attorney at law, coming back here by popular demand.
Yes.
We had her last Valentine's Day talking about, she's a family lawyer, so she handles divorces, child custody, child supports, orders of protection, prenuptial agreements, all in, that's the focus of her practice.
Yep.
So we had her last Valentine's Day, we had her on Sweetest Day, and now I'm getting her to come back Friday the 13th for our Valentine's Day show. She has just been made a super lawyer, so I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, this must be
Wow.
the Oscars of attorneys.
Yeah, that's great.
So I don't know how this encompasses everything, but there are quite a few lawyers that are in this classification as super lawyers.
Mhm.
So I guess you're nominated and promoted by your own other lawyers. So I don't know the exact specifications of how that's done. She's going to explain it to me, but it's an honor, obviously. It's like winning the Academy Awards.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd like to thank the Academy for voting for me. And this year, Super Bowl Sunday, are you doing anything?
I am going to be at home. We
You're
got a
gonna be
home party.
Smart move.
We're having a home party. But there is a party coming up that's at the Wintrust Field.
Where?
Be out there. WRMN's going to be out at the Wintrust Field on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah.
very good, very good.
Yeah.
And I want to let everybody know, I'm sure they've announced it before, on February 21st, Saturday, Rick Lindy, he is going to be performing at Newman's Corner Pub at Hampshire, Illinois, 1000 South State Street in Hampshire, Illinois. I'm going to try to make it. It starts at 8 p.m., and I think it runs 3 hours. I think it's a 3-hour show. So I've never been to this pub. Have you been there?
Yeah, well, our very own Susie C works there at the morning show.
Susie C?
Yeah.
Susie C.
That's her bar.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So we're on fire with this one. I was invited by the guitarist who I had on my show talking about music genres, Stephen Kotlowski. He's playing the guitar, and there's that little flyer they put out. It's going to be an interesting night. I can't remember the last time I saw Rick Lindy. Was it at the award ceremony last year?
It might have been. We've had him here in the studio recently.
Yes, he was here because he was doing Dino's hour.
Yep, and he called in during my show too.
Yes,
Yep.
very good. But he had musical instruments and everything else here.
Yep.
So Rick Lindy's very talented man, and his group plays a lot of good songs. They do a lot of cover songs too.
Okay.
From what I understand. So those are the announcements. Stay with me at 12:05, right after this show.
Yep.
I'm going to be talking about kidnappings and something else that's come up. People are getting hit by uninsured drivers. I'm going to put that in the second segment. So we're going to be talking about that.
Okay.
So back to you, my man.
All right. Hey. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting, folks. Stay tuned for that and more here on WRMN. Let's see here. We have a couple minutes left here. Let's go through the word of the day, the National Day calendar, and then we will hop into our hyped experience with the different choices of food that you can enjoy on our Foodie Fridays. So we'll stay tuned for that. And I'm excited for it. It was something just kind of on a whim. Greg Duray, our listener, was sending in some recipes to me. Just thought I might like them. And I was looking at them. I was like, wait a minute. I need to start a segment on Fridays, Foodie Fridays. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We're going to build on from it too. So it might take some time to kind of get more into it, right? So we're gonna test the waters and see how it is. If you like it, and of course, if you have any suggestions for us, of course, definitely send them over to me at Matt at WRMN 1410.com. Now, the word of the day today is an adjective. It is sartorial. This is sartorial, sartorial. Rolls off the tongue. It is broadly meaning of or relating to clothes, but it often more specifically means of or relating to a tailored or tailored clothes. So this is quite the sartorial shirt that I've got here. It's a club room. Sartorial meaning, of course, again here, of or relating to a tailor or tailored clothes. Now, I had a family member, my great uncle, Fred Siekman, was from, he's from Germany, and he moved to Milwaukee, and he was all things sartorial. He was a private tailor, so he tailored to a lot of very wealthy people, and he even traveled for his jobs. He was a traveling tailorman, which a lot of that skill was more so of a female skill that women did, but it was something that he did. He was really skilled at it, and he made pretty decent money from it too. He actually helped out the family when they were in need. He was the big breadwinner in the family. He was a private tailor to a lot of very wealthy people, and he traveled for his job too. And he even traveled to California for his job, and he survived the great earthquake of 1906. The ground was cracking below him as he was getting back onto the train. So he remembers that day. That's the story that was in the family. But anyway, I digress as the big family historian that could go on for hours talking about that stuff. That is the word of the day today, sartorial, broadly meaning of or relating to clothes. Many people do enjoy fashion and clothes, as do I. I'm quite the fashionista. I've been lately trying to find newer things to try out, right? So if you met me when I first worked here at the station in 2017, 2018, you knew me to be the guy that wore a lot of dark. I wore black almost every day, or dark purple, or, all those things. I had red hair. I sometimes even would paint my nails black. So I was definitely a different style. Now I've been getting into wearing some of the more collared shirts and dressing up a little bit more, business casual, but it's something that I enjoy doing too. So, and the clothes, the way you wear the clothes is always going to definitely depend on how it looks on you, right? Everyone's going to look a little different in clothes. And so definitely check them out too. Find your own niche, your own style when it comes to clothing. Be your own sartorial, is what I say. So that's the word of the day today. Only got a couple minutes left here. What I want to do is we'll just quickly run through what are some of the other days we have to recognize. We've got National Frozen Yogurt Day, which is a delicious treat to enjoy and a healthy alternative. It is also Bubblegum Day today, recognized. The poppin' good flavor of bubblegum. You can even blow some spectacular bubbles and even raise some money. There are some cool fundraisers out there where you can blow bubbles, and the biggest one that you blow before it pops, you can win some prizes too. So those are some fun traditions that people enjoy. It's also National Chopsticks Day today. I don't do very well using chopsticks. Even if I go out and have some Chinese food, I'm like, I'm going to stick to the fork and the spoons. Sorry. The chopsticks, I try it. It almost hurts my fingers in a way. So those are some days recognized. We've also got some other ones for tomorrow. Ice cream for breakfast day is on Saturday. Fettuccine Alfredo Day is also recognized tomorrow too. So some good days that are recognized and enjoyed, especially when it comes to food. Coming up next, we do have our Foodie Fridays segment. I'll be reading through a suggested classical Chicago Italian beef sandwich recipe as seen on Hulu's The Bear. This was written by Meathead. of AmazingRibs.com, submitted by Greg DeRay. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more here on Out to Lunch, WRMN.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby. Brought to you by Rain-X. Illinois drivers are paying less for car insurance. Insurify says average full coverage rates fell 7.2% in 2025, saving drivers about $138 a year. The average annual cost is around $1,800. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office has won the state's first civil hate crime lawsuit under a 2018 law. A Carroll County judge ordered 2 residents to pay more than $90,000 in penalties and damages for racially motivated intimidation of a black neighbor. Illinois Senate Democrats are pushing new taxes on digital advertising, billionaires, and corporations, arguing large companies aren't paying their fair share. Republicans counter that state spending has surged in recent years and warn higher taxes could drive businesses out of Illinois. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel despised the word empty. Empty plates, empty tables, empty stomachs. That's why he made the KFC $5 bowls, like the famous bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, gravy, and cheese. Because the only empty the Colonel liked was when you reached the bottom of that bowl. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. 5 KFC bowls for just $5 each.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
When it comes to orthopedic and spine surgery, Prime Healthcare St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin leads the way. Recognized by U.S. News and World Report as a high performer across multiple surgery types, we offer advanced and minimally invasive procedures supported by state-of-the-art imaging technology. Our expert surgeons and compassionate care teams are here to help you move, heal, and live better every step of the way. St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin, exceptional care close to home.
Fitting in shouldn't be hard, whether in life, on the court, or in the classroom. At Elgin Community College, you could find your place alongside those expanding their horizons, exploring rewarding careers, and achieving their dreams. A place for doers, thinkers, and believers. At ECC, we see you, we believe in you, and you'll fit right in. Learn more at elgin.edu/belong.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by KFC. Today, a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy, with a high near 36, falling to around 29 this afternoon. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 8. Looking ahead to Saturday, sunny with a high near 23. Currently, it's 38 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
And welcome back, folks, to Out to Lunch here on WRMN, the voice of the Valley and the talk of the town. We are getting into, you hear that? Do you know what that sound is? That sounds like the sizzling sound of cooking food. food. It is our Foodie Fridays edition here. And again, I'm working on it too. We'll figure it out. But that's the sound of bacon that's frying. Literally, it's from an actual video here. Sleep sounds. You can sleep to the sound of cooking bacon for 45 minutes. It's ASMR. It just sounds like it's raining outside, like lightly raining. They've got better ones on there. I just had to pull up something pretty quickly. So this is a new segment I'm doing on Fridays. This is called Foodie Fridays, where you can submit your recipes beforehand, whether it's something personal that you like or something that you just found online that you're like, oh my gosh, this recipe sounds so wacko or weird or really cool too. So it can be a mixture of different things. It can be, something that's unique. It could be something that's just a classic. It could be even a specific recipe from a specific restaurant. So we're going to try to, test the waters, or I guess test the oils a little bit here, and the cooking fats, and see what we've got going on, what we're going to be doing here. So we encourage you submit those recipes and even pictures too of anything that you've got going on, especially some of your favorite treats, some good things to cook, bake, and make in the kitchen. So we have a submission here from our very own Greg Duray, who does call in for Tradio. I did speak with him yesterday on this too, but he also does have a recipe that he submitted to us. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this with you, and that includes this quite delicious classic Chicago Italian beef. Now, what's interesting about this one is there's actually a little bit of an uptick in folks enjoying Italian beef. And the reason why this is because of the popular Hulu show, The Bear. Now, The Bear has been quite the popular show for a while now, and a lot of people are really booming on the Italian beef. It is something that is starting to really take note or become something in the spotlight. And if you watched The Bear before, you probably know that the Italian beef is a staple in that show, or at least something that, excuse me, is something that people are excited about. Right. And The Bear was where the pilot episode was filmed, known for its Italian beef sandwich. It's the beef and Chicago-inspired FX series. The beef is Chicago-inspired in the show. So there's quite a bit of popularity when it does come to Italian beef. We've been noticing that impact of The Bear, the TV show. Demand soared across the U.S. For example, a Los Angeles restaurant saw daily orders double to 300. An online retailer, Goldbelly, reported a 30% increase in sales, according to Inside Hook and the New York Times. Now, of course, the sandwich is designed by often dipped, dunked, or baptized. And we spoke a little bit yesterday with Greg talking about how he loves it baptized. That's the Italian beef. I'm the same way. Now, there are people out there who do prefer it a little bit more on the dry side, but I do like it baptized for sure. I do like when the bread is a little bit more on the soggier side. Now, do I always like bread when it's soggy? But in this particular instance, I do, especially when you mix those different spices and herbs with it. So that's, again, the very key component of it. It's prepared in seasoned broth. It often features heart giardiniera for a spicy kick. And there is, again, an expansion beyond Chicago. While it's famously a Chicago staple, it has been a staple for Midwestern bar foods for decades and slowly expanded its footprint across the country. And again, besides the show's impact, the sandwich has been highlighted by popular food media, and in recent years, it's become an iconic, highly sought-after nationwide culinary item. Now, a little bit of history on the Italian beef sandwich. It was originated in the early 1900s. It was originally a cheaper meal for people to enjoy, especially Italian immigrants and the working class. It really became a deeply embedded food choice in Chicago's culture by the time the 1980s hit. So many of you might even recall when it kind of started to really upheaval in excitement that people enjoyed it, or you saw it at restaurants or maybe on the local street food carts. So this is a classic Italian beef sandwich recipe as seen on Hulu's The Bear. Now, this was an article that was written in 2016 by Meathead. Meathead talks about the science and art of barbecuing and also grilling methods. And he's been doing it since 2005. Last year, he celebrated his 20th anniversary. He's even listed as a Barbecue Hall of Famer too, which is fantastic. So this is again by Meathead of AmazingRibs.com, founder and Barbecue Hall of Famer. So, of course, we know it. You might be a fan of the movie The Bear, the TV show, featuring Jeremy Allen White as a classically trained chef. He takes over his family restaurant, the original beef of Chicagoland. And then, of course, this is the Italian recipe for you that was suggested by him and also by Greg. Now, of course, you can kind of customize the way that you make the beef sandwich too. So, it's kind of, I wouldn't quite say it's quite like a French dip with the au jus sauce, but it is very similar to it. It's available in hundreds of joints across the city, and it has really been found beyond its, area that it started in until now, thanks to the Italian beef sandwich recipe and the way it's been starting to come across in the area. So, how do you make it? Well, Italian beef, of course, is made slowly. You roast the lean beef. And what you do is you put it on a rack above a pan filled with seasoned beef-based stock. That stock is going to help to already start to soak it up so that the meat doesn't get too dry. Some folks call it gravy, but most Chicago Italian households, gravy is a term reserved for those tomato sauces. So they're saying, you know what, let's just call it juice, all right? That's what Meatheads here says. Others call it a jus or juice in short, although it's often made with bouillon, and it's not technically a jus. Now, you could also incorporate a jus into it for a little bit more of that French style. But if you want the cultures to clash, that's totally up to you on how you want to do that. So then, of course, it is sliced paper thin. Now, usually what I do like is to have a little bit more meat on it, preferably for myself. Many folks out there maybe do prefer it a little bit less meat or somewhere in the middle. What I like to do personally for myself is I like to have a lot of meat on it so then I can take some of that meat off and almost have it as a side dish. Yes, the same food, but as a side dish too. You're enjoying the meat on the bread with the juice, but you also have a little extra meat on the side to, kind of nibble it on yourself that way. And then the juice kind of spills onto the plate, or if you even have it on a bowl or in a bowl, and then you kind of dip the bread a little bit more into it to help to generate that artwork of eating it, right? I'm not just eating it, but also making it too. So it's sliced paper thin. It's soaked in that hot juice for just a few minutes, and then it's layered generously. Now, that generously is important. If you really want to make your party the staple, you want your house to be the party house or your family gathering, you layer it generously. And if you want it dripping wet, that's a great way to do it too, but you can also customize it to how you like it. Now, according to Alan Kelson, who's a former restaurant critic of the Chicago Magazine, he says it's important that the bread has what Bounty Tower calls wet strength. This comes from long fermentations, he explains. The more accelerator, the worse the bread, as far as Italian beef goes. French bread just doesn't cut it, he says. So you want to make sure that the bread is strong enough to where the juice can hold it without it completely tearing apart, right? You've had that problem before. Maybe you've been to a specific restaurant or a joint, or you've tried making it at home before, and the soakness or the juice of the that's in the bread just soaks it up too much, right? You want enough juice because you want enough flavor too, so that it's able to slide down the throat a little bit easier that way, and enjoy that flavor that goes with the meat. But sometimes you have those breads that are they're soggy enough to where they break apart. That's something you don't want. You want to be able to have the bread just easy enough to where it soaks it like a sponge and it stays intact. Of course, until you bite into it. Then you can saute green pepper slices and giardiniera top on the meat, and they definitely top the meat. The most popular commercial brand is Del Alpe, which is spelled DELL''ALPE, Del Alpe, which is a condiment of hot pickled serrano, peppers, celery, green olives, and spices packed in oil. Others, like Meathead here in his recipe, includes carrots, cauliflower, and more. So again, the recipe might just depend on what you prefer for yourself or what the restaurant has to offer if you are going to a restaurant and not making it. But usually you can kind of customize the order to your own liking. And then finally, more beef juice is spooned over the toppings. So you don't want to just do it as a one-time thing. You want to soak it in it. You want to make sure that there are layers of juice in there. Soaks up in the meat and the bread, and then you just continue to do that too. It's almost like waterboarding it. So again, more beef juice is spooned over the toppings. That helps to enrich the flavors of the toppings too, especially maybe sometimes the peppers and the onions don't have a lot of flavor depending on how you cook it or what you cook it in. So again, adding that juice is going to definitely help to add a little bit more of the outside layer and when it's soaked in. So again, it does make that bread wet and chewy. Many stands will dip the whole sandwich in juice if you ask. You can ask for juice for dipping on the side, but then everyone will know you ain't from around here. If you have it completely soaked in beforehand, you know that, at least according to Meathead, you're a true Chicagoan. Now, there are some other versions that you can make. Of course, devotees such as Meathead's here, Southside Italian American wife, say you should only top it with Melrose peppers. Now, these are peppers from Melrose Park. And of course, I have an Italian family that was from Melrose Park. The D'Angelos, that's where my grandma grew up for half her childhood, and many of her relatives too. And so I wouldn't be surprised if she's had Italian beef as well from there. But again, they are long, slender, thin-walled green peppers, sweet green peppers, that were brought over from Italy and were named for the suburb of Melrose Park, home to many immigrants, including my ancestors too. They are sautéed in olive oil and served whole with seeds. Now, virtually no restaurants make it with Melrose peppers because they're not grown commercially. Still, many home cooks and gardeners do make it. They cultivate this variety just for sandwiches and peppers and eggs, which is a popular Italian-American breakfast in a lot of those Chicago restaurants, those staples. So some of the restaurants do get a fancy and they use very colorful sauteed red peppers or yellow peppers in their Italian beef. But again, depending on what it is, the restaurants might do it a little differently. They might not. So traditionally, then it is cooked indoors, but you can also do it on the grill or smoker. And then you amp it up a notch too. You add a little bit of more flame to it. This dish is especially well suited for the rotisserie. You can even cook the whole thing a day or in advance to serve it from a slow cooker, making it perfect for the upcoming game day. Yes. Now, according to this article and according to Meathead here himself, his Chicago Italian beef sandwich recipe is triangulated from several sources. Everyone has their own secret, right? So you might have your own particular secret on a way that you make it. Maybe you took it off from someone else here or, from an article, or maybe you heard about it through the grapevine. But there's lots of different ways that you can have your own secret to making it just the way that you like it or that your family and friends like it too. So many like his, you can put the meat in the juice and submerge it halfway while it roasts rather than hovering above it. Now, the article here written by Meathead says that his brother-in-law, who once owned an Italian deli and makes the best Italian beef that he knows, takes the time to cut slits in the meat and stud it with slivers of fresh garlic and onion slices. So this will be something that'll kind of be a little surprise in your mouth when you do take a bite into that beef, is it's incorporated with some of that delicious fresh garlic and even onion slices. He even says here, too, that his brother-in-law has a mysterious ingredient that he calls forget about it. And when he asks him for the secret, what does he say? Forget about it. So there's that, too. Now, of course, there are a lot of different ways that you can prepare it, like we said here. But there are also some good options that are listed here, too. If you prefer to maybe not make it yourself, you want to have someone else make it for you. Here are some good options for you. Al's #1 Italian beef is located on Taylor Street in Chicago. It's now franchised to several locations. The original was founded in Little Italy in 1938. You get the great buttery skin-on fries that are not too salty to go with it too, which was a great pairing. And something that I personally like to do if I have an Italian beef sandwich is dip some of the fries in that juice too, especially if the fries are a little bit extra crispy. Now, there are no toilets here. The counter will handle 6 to 8 people with standing up, and there's no indoor seating, but there are 3 picnic tables out front, is what he says here. So that sounds like a good place to go to. There's another one to go to that is Mr. Beef on New Orleans Street in Chicago. It's a little celebrity and tourist fave. Even Jay Leno said it's his favorite authentic Chicago Italian beef sandwich. And I said It just said Chicago right now, just like a Chicagoan. There's a couple other options: Johnny's Beefs, Freddy's Pizza and Sandwiches, and more. There's Carm's Beef and Snack Shop. So these are all some good Chicago staples that you can go to. Now, one that I do like to go to is Beef Villa. Beef Villa is located here in the Elgin and Fox River Valley area. There's a couple different locations that you can go to. There's the one off Larkin Avenue in South Elgin. They do offer some really great Italian beef sandwiches there as well. They've got a delicious menu, so if you want to check them out for yourself, that's beefvilla.com. But they do offer their Italian beef sandwiches that are made in-house. So that's a really great option to go to, especially for some kind of that fast casual meal. And their fries are also a really great pairing to go with it too. So if you want to check that one out, that's a good place to go to. You can even just look up online places that offer Italian beef, because you can go to some other places too. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be anything super fancy, right? It can even be just a really casual dining place to go to. For example, one place is Wheaties. Za Factory is another one that you can go to enjoy their Italian beef sandwiches. Big Sammy's Hot Dogs in Elgin, right over there near El Salon, if you're familiar where that is, or Rookies. That's another good place that offers pretty good Italian beef. So, and again, it just kind of depends on what you like, but usually they do say, would you like it, a little bit more on the drier side, or do you want it steeped in the beef juice? So I would say any place that's out there that does offer Italian beef, it's always good to ask the folks themselves, the customers, what they prefer, right? Because it might make it or break it. Some people really do like it soaked in or baptized, which is like myself and Greg, but there are some other folks out there who maybe do prefer it a little bit more on the lighter side of the juice too, because they want to taste a little bit more of the beef and also have a little bit more of that rich bread taste to it too, because sometimes the juice can really take out the bread taste, which doesn't bother me. Again, I enjoy the juice for sure. So there's a lot of good places. Staple of Chicago-style beef with locations surrounding in towns: Elgin, South Elgin, Schaumburg, I know, Aurora, Portillo's. Portillo's is another good place to go to. So there's a lot of different places. Buona Beef is another one. And you can also, too, and I know that I've heard people saying, yeah, you should probably not do this. That's not a real Italian beef sandwich. I've heard this before. It could just be, a little joke that they were saying, too. But mozzarella cheese is good on it if you've never had that before. And hey, there are some good places that you can go to that even offer Italian sausage that is mixed in with the Italian beef. So that's a great way to say, where's the beef? Well, there's plenty on your plate and in this delicious sandwich. So with that being said, that was the suggestion for today from Greg Duray. Thank you so much for sending us that suggestion. And of course, there are many different beef places. Always wins out as a favorite for Steve here in the comments, saying that Beef Villa is one. He's tried many different beef places. Beef Villa always